This question from Braden. I'm looking at a 70.3 in 13 months. I'm committed to doing this and making my goals come true. However, I would really like to know your opinion before I get started. Is it common for someone who has never done a triathlon to pursue an Ironman in 1 year? Is it a good idea? This is something that I want to, but I need to know if my goals are unrealistic, at least within a year time frame. From Braden. Coach?
So Braden just contacted me about coaching this past week. So we actually got on a phone call, and I wanted to talk about this question because I know a lot of people have probably the same type of question. So when you're training for an Ironman or 70.3, giving yourself, 13 months to prepare, I gave him a lot of credit because some people jump into it and don't give themselves enough time. I think you can prepare for one in about 6 months, but that's all relative to your background and your current experience and current fitness. So when I got on the phone with him and heard, he has a Peloton bike, he hasn't ridden it yet. He doesn't own a road bike. He hasn't been in the pool, but he's recently finished a half marathon. So we talked about, kind of how do you know if you're ready? Number one, you have to have the desire. Number two, we talked about some fitness testing, getting some baseline assessments. And for him, I said, just get in the water. Just see if you can swim, see what you're struggling with. Get on the Peloton and see how that goes, and then go for a couple mile run, see how that goes. Because when you just start with something, that you just need to start. And then you get that feedback from your body and mind of what it's telling you. Oh my gosh, I was struggling with breathing. I could only swim 25 meters, or I just got in and swam 1,000 and I felt great. Those are two different people, two different experiences, but having that, assessment, just starting to bike, starting to run, and starting to swim is a good place to start, and then gathering that data. So my feedback also to him was, if you told me tomorrow that you can't swim and that you can ride 5 miles an hour and you can walk a mile, I still told him, you have 13 months. You can be ready for the 70.3. So he's not doing a full Ironman distance, 140.6, but he's doing a 70.3. And even if he was doing a 140.6, I still think he could be ready based on those 3 assessments that he did today, because he's giving himself a year.
Yeah.
And within that year, it's important to set some short-term goals, because a year is a lot of training and you can easily get burned out, especially if you're a beginner, because you don't know what you don't know, and it could become a little overwhelming. So we also talked about having those short-term goals, like running another half marathon or doing a sprint. It's July. There's still time that he could get ready to do a sprint like in October at the end of the year. And then plan some events in the early spring of 2024 as, again, more assessment tools, get to know your mind and body of how it feels training for another event, and then assessing how you do, assessing your strengths and weaknesses as you prepare for the final goal of what he's training for, September of 2024.
Yeah, I think structuring and breaking it up, like you said, and then also having little benchmarks or reassessments every 4 months or every 3 months. I'm doing something very similar to my other hobby activity is darts, playing darts, and I have an event that I want to do well at in 2 years. So I've got a 24-month calendar in a way, and I'm breaking it up. I even put it on my little whiteboard of all the months and where I want to be at certain months, not where I want to be in 2 years, but where I want to be along the process.
Mm-hmm.
So for Braden, where's your time for your swim right now? Where's your bike speed right now? Let's make some small small steps toward a faster time in 3 months, and then see where you are, and then reassess, and then make a new goal for 3 months later, versus where I want to be in 13 months. That's a big jump and hard to take in and not be overwhelmed.
Right. Exactly.